and Frank, it is my joy to be able to preside over this hearing this morning.
Are you sure?
This is one of the joyful things that I get to do. I would inquire of both of you if you willingly enter into this adoption and understand that you are adopting Jordan and Thurman as if they were your own biological children with all of the responsibilities, joys that do you still wish to proceed with the adoptions?
Yes, very much so.
I would note that. If you would proceed having been advised of their rights and their responsibilities and entering into these adoptions joyfully and willingly. Been presented with the decree of adoption in both of these cases. I would find that the requirements of Kansas statute have been met in each of these cases, and I would order at this time that the decrees of adoption are accepted by the court, and that the names in 1581 be changed to Joshua Esau Jordan Ruff, and in 1582 that the name be changed to Thurman Wayne Thomas Ruff. And congratulations to both of you. I'm very happy for you, and I know that you will be wonderful parents. You have been to this point as pre-adoptive parents, and you have the love and the support of not only your church but the community in doing this.
Okay, so we got their cake there, which says, "Welcome home, Thurman and Joshua Ruff. Love, Mom and Dad."
Dad and Mom. You reading backwards? Are you dyslexic?
No, I didn't read it. I just assumed what it said, and you're right. It says Dad and Mom. Okay, so here we've got. We adopted siblings today. So here we have the older brother. And tell them your name. Thurman. Wayne. Thomas. Ruff. You're Ruff now. Thurman Wayne Thomas Ruff. And there is a method to our madness when it comes to their names. We believe that each of them should have retained something from their birth. So they each have a birth name, and that's Thurman. And each of them got a name of their grandfather. So his grandfather's name, my dad, was Wayne. And then they each got a biblical name. And so he has the name of the disciple, Thomas. And then, of course, Ruff. So this is the oldest. Now, a little bit later, you're going to actually meet a boy that we have that's older. But we can't put him on camera because he's not legally adopted yet. So that's Thurman. Okay, this is our other bundle of joy. Come here, Thurman. Tell him what your brother's name is. Joshua. What's his other's name?
Bobby Ruff.
Joshua. Bubby? Well, actually, it's Joshua Esau Jordan Ruff. And Jordan is the name that he was given at birth, and Joshua is his biblical name, and Esau is his grandfather. That's be my wife's dad. So that's Joshua, who's looking at stuff that he might want to get into. That's our little bundle of joy there.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. That's your way. You always walked a step behind. See, I was all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. Yes, you were. Only a face without a name. I never once heard you complain. No, no. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I would like to be. I could fly higher than an eagle. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Yeah. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but Daddy, 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 I've got it all right here in my heart.
Okay, so that was the time in the courtroom. That was an introduction to my boys, Thurman, Wayne Thomas Ruff, and Joshua Esau Jordan Ruff. And I am looking so forward to being their dad. I consider it a privilege. Now let's talk about personality and parenting. And I really would like as many of you to comment on what you see as strengths and weaknesses of given personalities, maybe your personality. Please feel free to comment on what you see as strengths and weaknesses of the ISTJ and the SJ temperament. My wife is an ESFP, so I just want to get a discussion going here because I think it's important. I think understanding personality, your personality, and how you're going to parent is important, and understanding the personality of your children as they get older. And when I look at myself, I have to say that I believe that my strength is my dedication to discipline, my dedication to structure, to order, especially when children are young. Bedtime. Bedtime's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock most nights. Do we deviate from that from time to time? Yeah, maybe dad and the kids are watching Power Rangers and they want to watch one more Power Rangers, and it's maybe 5 minutes to 9, and so I just let Netflix play on and we watch the next episode of Power Rangers. And so bedtime that day might be 9:15 or 9:20. Most of the time 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. Morning routine, when I am the one who's waking them up, they know the morning routine is pretty much going to be the same. They know that when dad says something, that's what dad means. It's not really negotiable. And as at this age, especially because all of them are under 3, I see that as a strength in parenting because it provides them with a foundation of discipline. It provides them with structure. And so that's the strength that I see that I have. If I were to, another strength I think that I have is, and I don't know that this has anything to do with being an SJ or specifically being an ISTJ, but patience. Don't get rattled a lot. But very, very patient with the boys. And so I see that as a strength. Now, if you were to ask for a weakness, I would think that sometimes I have to catch myself and realize that parenting sometimes is just like a river. You have to go with the flow. And sometimes you can't be as structured or rigid. Sometimes you have to, like I said, go with the flow. And while I have learned to do that, it's very uncomfortable for me. I much more prefer the schedule. I prefer the structure, and that's why things like daycare and school are a wonderful thing for a person like me, because they happen at a certain time and they happen a certain way. But life isn't like that, especially life with children, and I've come to realize that. But I would see that as a weakness in my parenting style. Not a weakness that my wife has. My wife's an ESFP, and so she's very spontaneous. She's very just go with the flow type person. Now, I would say a weakness with her is that she's less structured. So sometimes when the boys might need that structure, she doesn't necessarily give it to them because that's just a part of her personality and being an SP, specifically an ESFP. But what I'd like to do, and hopefully with this video, as you post comments below, let's talk about what are some strengths and weaknesses of you as a parent, if you're a parent. What were some strengths and weaknesses of your parents based on their personality types, and then maybe based on temperament. I look at NTs and I see some marvelous strengths in NT parents. See weaknesses as well. Same thing with NFs. Of course, SJs, SPs. So I want to get a discussion started about strengths and weaknesses of parenting styles based on type and temperament, and also how much do you think the way that you were parented affects your parenting style? Because I know some people they go that exact same route, and some people will go the exact opposite because they just didn't think the parents did it right. So let's start a discussion. I welcome your comments below.